What's good? What's good, fans? Thank you guys for tuning in to another fantastic week of the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is your man Cam down here and on location in Los Angeles. Got my man Clevon up in the Northwest. How you doing, Clevon?
Doing all right, Cam. Thanks for asking.
Look like you a little bundled up there. You see, you got the
Oh
thick
yeah,
hoodie. You got the thick hoodie on.
definitely Pacific Northwest weather in October. So
It's
cloudy, slight drizzle, 55 degrees.
okay, slight drizzle. Isn't that? I always hated the slight drizzle, man. Would you, if it's gonna rain, just rain. Okay, don't just get mist and get my jeans just a little wet. We'll go ahead and rain, so we have to get under cover. I always hated that. But what we're gonna do, Cleveland, we're gonna obviously review what happened in week 5 and give us a week 6 preview in the NFL. We're gonna talk about opening night in the NBA. Your Lakers was on center stage. And we're gonna touch on that in a little bit. Giannis was doing their thing as well. Giannis and the Bucks. We're gonna touch on that. We're gonna get to this week in history as always. And then Cleveland, I know, can't wait to talk about his fantasy football league. So we'll just spend just a brief moment. We'll just spend just a brief moment on that because we got a lot of other stuff to talk about. So Cleveland, want to also give a shout out to our guys HNB Media TV. Make sure you check them out. Just did 5 hours with them yesterday and opening night in the NBA. So check them out at HNB Media TV on YouTube. And this show airs every week on HNB Media TV as well. If you're not catching it on Voice of the Fans podcast or you're not catching it on Spotify, tuned in, the Anchor app, iHeartRadio, however you typically listen to the show on the go. If you're not catching it that way, make sure you tune into HNB Media TV, and then make sure you tune in to us always right here, Voice of the Fans on YouTube. But Cleveland, with this being October 20th, 2021, week 161, we each and every week we look at our numbers. So this week with the numbers being number 20, number 61, Cleveland, when you think of number 20, who comes to your mind first? Or who wore that number the best?
The 20 is a real interesting number, Cam. I mean, the person that comes to your name, or the person that comes to your mind first, and also the person that wore it best. I'm a little conflicted with both of
also,
these.
The same. That's the same guy.
It's not the same guy.
Yeah,
so the person that comes to mind first is the glove, Gary Payton.
Okay.
And so far on the NBA's top 75 has not been released. A little interesting.
Well, our top 75 has been released, and that's all that matters.
For sure. He's not ours, but I mean, for the one that the league has released, yeah. So that's a little bit suspect so far. And the person that wore it best, God, I got to give it to Barry with no rings. It's hard to do.
And that hurts, doesn't it? That hurts you, doesn't it?
Yes.
Oh my goodness gracious! But he's giving it up. He's giving it up, fans, because.
So in which case, fans, I'm conflicted about it. I like to have you have at least one ring to be considered in the grades of all time and anything.
Oh my goodness! You can see the pain on his face when he says that.
It hurts. It does.
I'm so sorry for you right there. Okay, but you're half right. You're half right. Who come to your mind first? Who come to my mind first actually is Billy Sims. Big fan of the running backs back in the day. Billy Sims was the iconic posters are all over the place. Excuse me, but Billy Sims, where he's giving a guy a move, and you can see his body is over there, and then he's running through this hole is real bananas. That poster was on my wall for years. So Billy Sims is actually the guy who comes to my mind first. And then, yes, I mean, had he not retired early, obviously Barry Sanders would have been an NFL rushing leader easily. But he did decide to depart those same Detroit Lions early, and he did not attain that record. I mean, Gary Payton, Eric Reed, are guys obviously you could claim as being the best who ever worn it. But I have to say, Barry Sanders was the best that ever worn it. Billy Sims is the guy who comes to my mind first. When you think of number 61, a little bit more difficult. Who wore 61 the best? Or when you think of number 61, who comes in mind first?
Same dude, electric Josh Beckett. Threw the two shutouts for the Marlins, win that World Series, and then came back and threw another 8 innings for the Red Sox to win that World Series. So, I mean, 61 is such an obscure number that he definitely fits the bill for both of those.
I thought you were going to mention Tobek, your Super Bowl. He didn't win the Super Bowl. He led the Seahawks to their first Super Bowl. He was the center for the. He was center. You just discount Tobek. Oh, so you're one of those fans who became a fan of the Seahawks in 2011?
No, but I mean, he doesn't come to mind first, and he didn't wear it the best, so he's kind of unfortunately eliminated from this conversation, right?
Yeah, Josh Beckett, I'd agree with you there, and I mean he has a hell of a selection process. Josh Beckett does it as well. If you remember who he married during his heyday. So Clevon, this weekend, man, I know you're excited to talk about Lamar Jackson and the showing that he put on against the. I mean, you were a fair weather Chargers fan anyway. You just started rooting for them like 2 days ago because they just crept up into your Supremacy Rankings for the first time ever last week. So go ahead, talk about Lamar Jackson and those no-name Ravens defense that they have that you want to crap on earlier in the year when I told you the Ravens are going to have a better defense, one of the best defenses in the league. And you, who's on their team? Who name me anybody who's on their team? But did they show you anything yesterday? Because holding the reigning NFL Rookie of the Year to 6 points, did they impress you at all, or was it all Lamar Jackson playing offense and defense yesterday or on Sunday?
It was all Lamar Jackson playing offense and defense on that Sunday, and Cam. Let's be perfectly clear. Given some of the conversations that we have had and some of the euphoria that you had been experiencing with regards to the Los Angeles Chargers, perhaps because of the way that you had been covering them,
it should be
on its way. I just need him to make sure that he received the email. And then I need him to send the information as soon as possible.
Just the authorization form, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you got it. Thank you. Yeah, we've had many conversations about that, and to not give the Ravens any credit, I mean, Clevon, you're discounting what the Baltimore Ravens have done.
No, it's all about the way the Chargers showed up, or rather, I should say, didn't show up, and trying to be heroes, superheroes, if you will, going for it on 4th and 5 from your own 26, down 24-6 in the third quarter, and don't convert. Yeah, and then just basically just pack up all of your belongings and try and get to gate B as quickly as you can before everybody else, so you just avoid the traffic.
Wait. So you're saying they quit? Are you saying they quit?
Yeah, they quit.
Oh wow! So, oh my goodness, you're opening up a whole nother can of worms right here, Mr. Clevon. You're opening up a whole nother can of worms. First of all, you're not giving the Ravens any credit and Wink Martindale any credit for what his scheming against the Chargers. You're not giving me any credit for that.
Not given what the Chargers had done previous weeks and how they came to Baltimore. I mean, I thought they were, afraid Omar was going to come out with the shotgun, man. It looked a little suspect.
Okay, and now you're saying that the coach, so that doesn't give you any inspiration when you see the coach going for it on 4th down? Before Sunday,
man. Go ahead and do that. But if you don't convert, then it just looks silly.
Well,
right?
so you're a results based guy. Then.
It's not.
So you're telling. So
I like the fact that you did it, but that's one of those decisions that you make. That when you make it, you have to get it. You can't go for it and then not get it, and then not get criticism for it.
I mean, but that shows confidence in your squad.
It doesn't show confidence, it shows desperation, but you have enough confidence in your team to do the desperate thing in a very inopportune moment, but then you don't convert. So then that's where you are.
So
And then you guys
Clevon,
just all pack up all your stuff and just go home.
so Clevon, let's go. Let's
Start
talk
putting
about.
talcum powder, in your your separate area of the bag, and then you start, just hey
Clevon.
man, where
Before
my
Sunday,
wristbands? Where's my
before
tape at?
before Sunday, they were 87% conversion rate on
That's
fourth down.
cool.
Before Sunday,
That's cool. How were they in that game?
I mean, it doesn't always work. I never
Doesn't
claimed
always work.
I never claimed that the Chargers was going to go
34-6, bro.
I never claimed that they were going to go 16-1.
34-6.
I never complained. I never
No,
said they're going to go 16-1.
34-6.
So wow, he said that they took it on their chin and then packed up and went home. That's funny. So okay, so the Chargers won't be in your confidence in your supremacy rankings for the rest of the season.
I don't know what they're gonna do for the rest of the season, but yeah, it's gonna take 5 or 6 impressive wins to regain my confidence. Yeah.
Well, you can lose everything so quickly, huh?
I'm just going on what I saw.
So my insight on Brandon Staley did nothing for you, huh? It was all me.
Oh no, it was extremely inspirational, and I was all gung ho on it. As a matter of fact, I even lost money on the Los Angeles Chargers this week, truth be told.
So there it is. There, that's where the sting come from. That's where the sting.
Not really. I mean, no, because I actually had the Chargers plus 8.5. They were underdogs by 2.5 points. I took them on the teaser.
You took 8.5.
Yeah, I took them on the teaser and teased it up 6 points.
Oh boy, okay.
34-6.
Yeah. There's a little sting there. I understand where it's coming from. So let's talk about your experience. Your experience now in over 10 years, you finally get to experience watching a backup quarterback play for your squad. You finally get to see what all this time you get to see what it's like dealing with the quarterback, a subpar quarterback. Clevon, how that feel? Talk to us about your watching the Seattle Seahawks against the Steelers. Like, talk about that for a minute.
I didn't like it, Cam. It's horrible. I had no confidence on any snap.
Okay, but he kept you in the game though. He was making plays. He kept you.
Oh, man,
he pushed the game to. He pushed it to overtime. Right?
I think the running game, the defense clamping down a tad bit, pushed it to overtime. I mean, maybe he made a throw or two here or there, man. I don't know how many times you can hit somebody in the arm, man, throwing a football in a NFL game. I think he threw into the other person's arm like 4 times.
Oh boy.
And Russ never does that, and he's 5'10", 5'11".
That's funny. That's funny. So no confidence in Gino over the next couple of weeks? Or what does Sierra say about the finger?
Crossing our fingers, man. Good luck. I mean, we're praying for him, hoping for him, wishing for it, man. We'll see what happens.
Unfortunately, it's not the pinky. I mean, if it was a pinky, you could deal without it. If it was a ring finger, he might still be able to play with the broken ring finger. But with it being the middle finger, the last finger to hit the ball, he's going to be inaccurate with his passes. So that really impacts his game. So what does Sierra say? Like, did she give you guys a timeline of when he'll be back able to play?
She's just being supportive and protective of her dude right now. You know what I'm saying? She's just, kind of in hibernation, just, trying to do her part to, help make the finger better. That's all she can do.
But there's no Russ and C moving company that's been opened up there?
No, not at present.
Okay, I'm just checking.
They, from what I'm hearing, they are, in the Rolodex, but not necessarily, on speed dial per se.
Okay. So I know last week, the NFL, I don't know why they do this. They treat our brothers over there in London with some of the worst football possible. By sending some of the worst teams over there.
Hey, Cam, from what I hear, that was an extremely exciting game.
Well, and so that was my point. 2 bad teams can actually make for a competitive football game. They can make for exciting game.
Sure.
Which the game went down to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Brandon Flores and his stupid decisions kind of cost some guys the game. Like, you told me to stop talking about the draft picks. Stop talking about the draft picks in this select. You told me to stop talking about that. Well, can I talk about how they go to the waiver wire or the free agent wire and we bring in Will Fuller? I mean, has Will Fuller ever stayed healthy on any of your fantasy football teams?
Cam, I wrote a book and dedicated an entire chapter of my book to Will Fuller V, man.
Okay, go ahead and give a shout out to your book. Let the people know where they can find it.
I'm just saying, Inside the Mind of a Lunatic Fantasy Football Owner. You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on Barnes & Noble.
Okay.
Great read, especially for those fantasy football fans out there. But yeah, I was cracking up, could not stop laughing when you guys picked him up. He's a feature famine dude.
But you told me I should be excited about having him on the team. That's what you tried to tell me. I should be excited.
Well, I mean, potentially. Mm-hmm. I mean, my personal feelings aside, I mean, clearly other, NFL executives feel that he is really fast and really big and strong, and when healthy can, have a significant impact on the game.
Okay, but
I don't think he's going to be healthy enough to do that.
He's never healthy.
Personal parent from experience.
Yeah, and he signed. I think he signed on Monday. By Thursday, he was on. He was hurt. Thursday, he was working out with the doctors in training camp. So that was.
But when he does play, you might get 200, 250 yards.
Well, I set it for 100.
7 catches.
I'll set it for 100 yards and 5 catches. How about that? That's what I'll set it for. But nonetheless, that was a bad pickup. Okay, then you decide not to go. You decide not to in 2 years back to back to pick up a running back because you think because you're saying who is going to help them out in the running game?
Myles Gaskin and Savon Ahmed had done an admirable job last season.
Okay, those are 2 backup at best running backs. Backup at best. And so, backup at best, exactly.
Combined 1,000 yards, I think, last season, right, Cam? We've been over this a few times.
So, but that's 2 guys. So you're talking about 2 guys to combine for 1,000 yards.
So from the running back position, the production that they've been able to generate is 1,000 yards.
Because neither one of them are effective enough to do that on their own. So that means they're backup. Okay, but then you go get Malcolm Brown. Like, what has he done? What has he done to warrant not only you paying him $5 million a year, but you go picking him out of a whole slew of running backs? Alex.
Hey,
Collins.
Cam, couple things here. Things you're ignoring here. First of all,
help me out.
Brian Flores comes from the coaching tree of the greatest NFL coach in the history of football.
Okay, so why do you go for it?
Why do you go for it on Cam, let me finish. Cam, let me finish. So certainly he's earned the respect that he's been tutored and mentored by, the sensei, the Yoda. So give him some credit for being under that tutelage and some time to kind of let the system, do what the system does. The Belichick way.
This is the third year. This is the third year. This is the third year. This is the third year of operation.
Number 2.
We're 1-5.
Number 2.
1-5.
Number 2.
So it's supposed to turn around next season?
Number 2, the greatest coach in the history of college football, one of his proteges, a quarterback by the name of Tua Tagovailoa, is finally healthy. Give him some chance to maturate a little bit more, get his feet underneath him. You already see somewhat of the synergy between him and his former receiver over at the University of Alabama, Jalen Waddle. So, this season,
Waddle caught 10 passes for 7
Cam, please let me finish. Cam, please let me finish. This season, it doesn't look like the Miami Dolphins are going to make the playoffs.
Oh, really?
But 2022, exactly. So when they're able to put it all back together and get a camp underneath them and have everybody on the same page,
I could just laugh.
I feel they might win 10 games next year.
All I can do is laugh now. I'm beyond getting. I'll be honest, you're not over getting me over excited. You're not creating no anxiety in me no more. I'm not sweating. I'm not getting angry. There's I'm able to accept this and just laugh, accept this information, and laugh. So Clevon, this is what you're telling me. The sensei coaches guy up to in his. You were saying how great of a job he did last year. You said Tua last year. Tua last year didn't have any training camp, so he had a full training camp this season, right? He had full training camp this season, and now you're saying let's let him get another training camp under his belt. That's what you're telling me. So you're essentially writing off year three, Tua's second year in the league at week six in the NFL because they're 1-5. Because they're 1-5. So now we have to give this coach another year to do this stuff. Come on, man. I'm done
Well,
with this.
Cam,
I'm done with
Cam,
this
I'm just
regime.
saying, statistically speaking, 1-5 is almost always insurmountable. So they won't make the playoffs this year. So we're already looking ahead at 2022. There are draft opportunities to get better.
Oh,
And
I should be confident in that. I should be confident in their drafting ability.
and in addition, Tua Tagovailoa has more opportunity to, get in sync with his number one receiver, Jalen Waddle, and kind of get a
Cleveland,
chance to run the offense his way. You know what I'm saying?
Cleveland. Jalen Waddle caught 10 passes for 70 yards last week. Sure, you could do the math. With the math is that's 7 yards of reception, not 7 yards an attempt. 7 yards in a reception. Any idea what his average per reception was in college?
Yeah, it was 19.6 yards a catch.
Exactly. So we're a long way away from that, right? We're a long way away from there, right? And is that coaching? Might that have something to do with the three-headed monster offensive coordinator that they have there? You heard Trotter say a couple of weeks ago, why would an offensive coach, if I was an offensive coordinator, I wouldn't be interested in that job because he had 3 in 3 years. Like there's things are looking very sour in the 305. Very sour in the 305. And we'll see if he wins 10 games and finishes the season off at 11-5 or would it be 10-7? People say, they went on a terrific run at the end of the season. I really don't want to see that. I really don't want to see a terrific run at the end of the season. Oh, and you got some hope. You look at these guys. Look at Tua. He won 3 games in a row. Well, they lost 5 of the first 6 games of the season. So coming back in those empty calories after you've been down, what you're telling me about your quarterback there, after you've been down and losing so often, what you do in the fourth quarter doesn't really matter because you still don't win the game, and it's just been empty calories. So I'm very disappointed in these Miami Dolphins. I'm gonna go ahead and go on ZipRecruiter and try to send my resume to Ross down there, and just hire me, man. I'll be half the price of any of those coaches that want the job. Any of those GMs or coaches that want the job, pay me half of that, and let's see where we can go from there. I mean, that can't be any worse. I guarantee you what. I guarantee you one thing. I'll have some talent out there that will be eager to play. And like Minka Fitzpatrick did, he's not going to be so quick to run away from the squad because he sees some talent in the direction where we're going. So we'll leave it at that. The Cardinals remain undefeated. They keep doing what they're doing, man. What do you think about the Cardinals? If I remember correctly, you and me both had them pulling up the end of the. No, you actually had them ahead of the Niners to come and finish ahead of the Niners in the NFC West. But the Niners are tops of the NFC West and they lead the NFL with 6 wins at 6-0. You want to talk about the Cardinals and what you're seeing from there? Are you scared about the Cardinals yet?
Yes and no. I'm absolutely afraid of them when they are 100% healthy. They have punched whoever you want to name in the face hella hard, knocked them out most of the time. You just can't score with those dudes, and it's really hard to keep up and keep track of Kyler Murray for an entire game. And he's going to do something. He's going to start, or whatever, go a different direction, flick off his back foot, whatever it takes, man, you have got to be prepared to score 35 points. And if you're not, it's a good chance you're going to lose that game. That being said, they're already talking about Kyler Murray's little shoulder, a little banged up.
His little shoulder.
It's only week 6.
Did you just say his little shoulder?
His little shoulder starts to hurt about week 11 or week 12, as I recall, and then he just never stops hurting. It just keeps stinging.
Okay. So they picked up Zach Ertz. Are you familiar with that pickup? They picked him up on Friday.
Zach Ertz, yeah, that's a great tight end. That's a great addition to that offense. And if Kyler Murray is healthy and his little shoulder isn't hurt up,
his little shoulder, that's funny. You're disrespecting that man that way. And so, okay, we'll see how these things transpire. We'll see when they start playing some divisional competition how the rest of the division feels against him. I think they smacked up the Rams already, but we'll see how the rest of the division feels against him. Your boy DK and Shannon Sharp. DK going at Shannon Sharp. What's that all about?
DK is out of line. He's a millennial, a little oversensitive, doesn't understand the resume of the person that he's talking about. Because clearly, if you did, you would never go at a person of that stature in that manner. I mean, 3 rings and and a gold jacket.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, the way that, Shannon Sharp has approached this, I thought was somewhat hilarious because all he did was call out the fact that DK Metcalf made an unfortunate play that just certainly could have cost the Seahawks the game. I mean, it didn't cost them the game at the time. However, it wasn't a wise decision. He got called out by, a Hall of Famer, quite possibly one of the top 3 to 5 tight ends of all time. And his response was simply just that of,
I had a waitress over here. I had a waitress
downgrade
would you call over the lady
or disparage an entire generation. But millennials tend to be a little oversensitive at times, and understanding the criticism that was coming at him, it was certainly warranted given the way the play, unfolded. And so all the back and forth is kind of like, wow, well, look who you're talking to and look what you're talking about. So, yeah, I didn't think DK Metcalf was on good footing with all of that, but with social media, 2021, and we'll see how this whole thing plays out.
So how are they treating that in the up in the Northwest? Is it any news?
Trying to ignore it. I mean, acknowledging that the back and forth happened, but not really who they think is right or wrong in this whole situation. Protect our guy, but in all honesty, our guy is wrong in this particular instance.
I know the Lagunitas.
Yeah.
Burger with everything, right? With fries.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chips.
Potato chips. Not
Chips. Yeah.
Got it. And you want the sauce too that comes with
medium well, yeah.
Got it.
All right. Thank you.
Perfect. All right.
Awesome. So yeah, that's funny that they try to ignore that, but it is what it is. It is exactly what you're saying. The millennials, man. Shannon Sharp made an excellent point. He came out on pretty hard, but and the way DK responded was, I mean, go watch some tape, right? Or Google. What is it? Shaq say, Google me. Go watch some tape before you recognize and see who you're talking about before you just snap off like that, right? It's kind of wild. Clevon, we talked about the Cardinals beat the injured Browns. The Browns. Now I'm about to double check, and I have this information for you next week. I think I had the Browns making the playoffs, and the Browns just appear to be snake bitten. Is that the word to use for them? Something
snake
always
bitten, star-crossed. Yeah, I mean,
something always happens.
Things just always seem to happen that are unfortunate that kind of create a hiccup in their plans. And Baker Mayfield with the torn labrum in week 6, that's a major hiccup. The chubby guy not being able to run,
both running backs
major
going
hiccup.
down. Both running backs going down is a bigger issue, I think. But that was that was significant. That's more significant. I asked Baker when they after post game after they played the Chargers here at SoFi, like, how's your shoulder feel? Because if you remember, it was like 3 weeks ago that they made us think about it. So I asked him. I said, "How you? No better, the same as last week." I said, "What does that mean, dude? Like, is that good? Is that bad? Oh, it's just the same as last week. Okay, all right." So apparently the Cardinals heard about that and they went after him a little tougher. So that was pretty telling. Talk about the Titans over the Bills. Um, we know who Derrick Henry is. We see what he's able to do on the field. I like Mike Vrabel. I like the defense that they come with. I like the personality and persona they play with. But was it more Titans or were more Bills in that game on Monday night?
Well, first off, I don't really like to give Alabama running backs too much credit, but
We know this.
Derrick King Henry, my goodness,
King Henry,
heads and shoulders above everyone else with regards to running back in the NFL. And I know, from a fantasy football perspective, if I had the opportunity to draft that dude, I would most certainly, in a heartbeat, pick that guy who may quite possibly break my idol Eric Dickerson's rushing record this season.
Okay, does that count if he does it? Does it count if he does it in 17
Cam,
games?
I'm not done here. I'm not done here yet. I'm just saying. So, I mean, for example, fans, in some leagues, Christian Jackson McCaffrey is number one. And I would always say, okay, well, just because of his ability to catch, the ball, I understand that. But King Henry on anybody's list has got to be number two, man. And I'm not an Alabama running back guy, but got to be number two on anybody with a sound mind on anybody's list. Okay. So just the way that he was able to just ram it down their throat, just running for 75-yard runs at a clip. I mean, he made the Buffalo defense look a little average. And as we talked about on the show, Cam, they've shut out 2 NFL teams. So that is an extremely impressive win for the Tennessee Titans, man. Extremely impressive win.
I was asking about the Titans and what they were able to do. I wasn't talking about Derrick Henry specifically, but thanks for your feedback. We appreciate it. We appreciate your feedback. Also, so yeah, I thought it was a good. They played good football. I mean, they run the ball, stop the run, hesitate, stop the pass, and they were able to on the final down actually slow or speed up, I should say, Josh Allen. So I was able to speed up Josh Allen a little bit as well. So that was pretty cool. The Ravens, we already talked about the Ravens and how you feel that the Chargers packed it in after the coach was just being aggressive. You think he was being careless or reckless? Is that kind of how you see that?
No, I believe the coach 100% wanted to instill that confidence within the team, but I think that he did it kind of hoping, not really actually thinking it was going to happen. It was just kind of best case scenario. If it did happen, it would be able, like you said, he's all about, changing the momentum and, opportunities in which to do so. That was certainly one of them. And I thought that it was very telling, the fact that they came back after giving the ball back on the 26 of their own, area. They'll give a field goal.
So they did that the same a week prior, right?
Man, again, that's not what I'm saying here, man. I'm not. Don't try and make it seem like this is some thing they always do, and that's just kind of their mindset and mentality. No, man, it was 24-6 in the third quarter on their own 26.
It's about time. It's about time you gain some. Gain some.
Get it, and if you get it,
momentum.
if you don't, let the steamroller come out, man.
Just let them keep rolling right on down the hill. I mean,
you got to get it, man. There's no such thing as not getting it.
Yeah, there's right. That's right. They could have been. Herbert looked from in my notepad because I wasn't there. I do just kind of follow the game and
Okay, well, the throw was
write
okay.
down notes.
I'll bring it back to you. The throw was not great.
No,
The
no.
route was not great.
To what
The
I'm
call
saying,
was not great.
to what I'm saying is Herbert from the first series looked just a little off, in that game, and that's what the Ravens took a big advantage of him being just a little off. So. I noticed that from the first series, and then he just never got on the rhythm. And the coach said as much during the week that the teams were just a little off as well. So um, that's what it was. They took one on the chin. As I said, they didn't expect to go 16-1.
Go ahead, Cam. All I'm going to say is I'm not nearly as confident after that disappointing loss and the way they kind of mailed it in towards the end. I know that you were saying a lot of things about how special this team was and to watch out and hey America, let's put these guys on your radar and they might be the first team to host the Super Bowl and all that kind of good stuff. And
I'm not sure I went that far, but okay.
I'm just saying I'm just not seeing it, man. And suddenly that 11 wins, man. Again, I was about to just give you the C note. I think I had to rescind the Cash App. I think I had already sent it to you. But yeah, no, I had to pull that back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So wait, time out. So you don't have them. They're halfway to 10 wins. They're
4-2. They're 4-2 with plenty of tough games to go. And yeah, it just wasn't impressive the way they looked.
Wow. So you don't think in 11 weeks they can win 7 more games? That's what you're telling me?
I'm not 100% sure.
They can't go 7-4.
I am not nearly as confident as I was before I watched that episode.
Okay, fine. And that's what they tell you. That was a bad movie they put on field the other day. That's exactly what the coach will tell you. Mm-hmm. So the Broncos, talking about bad movie, the Broncos losing to the Raiders. I mean, weren't the Raiders supposed to be in turmoil, upheaval?
They certainly were, and they kind of came together. Lean on me moment, if you will. I think Morgan Freeman gave a speech, before the game. Let's all band together and get out there and show them who we are, regardless of what our head coach did. And it was a powerful moment. They got to win.
Yeah, they got to win. We talked about the Seahawks losing to the Steelers, man. We're going to get to your predictions here, and we already talked about the Dolphins. So that was the worst losses and the better wins for this week. Looking at our lists, the only difference we really had all week was Tennessee and Buffalo. I had Tennessee winning. You had Buffalo winning. So of course, once again, I win the week in picks.
Oh, well, I forgot you went Ryan Tannehill, the quarterback that you discarded, and Derrick Henry, the running back you didn't want. Sorry.
I guess I'm going to never hear the end of this. You know what the freak was happening during that fantasy football.
And unfortunately, you weren't able to end up with Derrick Henry at the end of that day.
Well, you know what happened. You know what's happened. So, leave me alone with that, okay? If you would leave me alone with that, please. I see. Also, for our picks against the spread, LA obviously lost. Arizona won. Dallas won. So I got Arizona and Dallas correctly. You had all three of yours: Arizona, Denver, and KC correct. So good for you. You went 3-0 against your picks against the spread. So for the season, your picks against the spread, it's you have a healthy margin in that area, 77% to 44%.
Well, Cam, I am young Sam Rothstein, so I mean that's to be expected. So
our picks against our regular picks for the week, you also lead in that category, 70% to 67%. So that's good. 2 out of 3 categories you're winning. Our picks last week, you did actually go 15-0 for your our confidence picks. You won all 15 picks, but still you're behind. You're behind 82% to my 93% because I only missed one.
You have been spectacular on the confidence picks so far. through week 6.
93%, in fact. 93%. So just I got some room to go, but right now we're 93%. So let's take a little break here. When we come back, we want to talk about the NBA opening day in the NBA. We'll also want to talk about we're going to obviously touch on Kyrie's situation. We'll talk about Ben Simmons' situation, and I want to know what you thought about Russell Westbrook, his first game in your Lakers uniform. Kind of how did he look in the purple and gold to you? I want to get your feedback on that. So let's take a little quick break here, and let's talk about the NBA's schedule return, or NBA coming back to play. Right now, if you're going to give me some excuses about it being too soon for them to come back, you're going to give me that excuse as well. So let's talk about the NBA when we come back. Let's take a little break here, Clevon.
All right. 45 seconds.
All right. All right. How much basketball you watched yesterday?
A little bit.
Do you have any confidence in the champs repeating?
No.
Oh no! So quickly, even after what they did to Brooklyn last night, you have no confidence in that? So hold on. In football there's a Super Bowl hangover, right? Where you lose the Super Bowl and you kind of take a backslide. In the NBA, there's oftentimes you get a confidence booster when you get to the finals. When you win in the playoffs, when you just win in the playoffs, not necessarily the finals, you win in the playoffs, you get a confidence boost for the following season.
Sure.
You win the finals, you should definitely get a confidence boost.
It's exponential, that boost. Yeah.
And you don't have any, and they showed, I thought they showed yesterday, to me anyway, they showed they're not resting on their laurels and that they're even more confident this season than they were last season. The Milwaukee Bucks I'm talking about. And you don't have any confidence in them repeating? Now, mind you, I'm not saying they will repeat. I'm not picking them to repeat. But I have confidence that they can repeat. And you have zero. Wow. Okay. That answers that question. How soon before Kyrie gets a shot?
January
1, Martin Luther King Day. Is he going to make it
slightly after Martin Luther King Day?
Is he going to make it a Martin Luther King Day ceremony? that he's doing it for?
I don't know if he's going to take it that far, but I think that perhaps the reminder of the sacrifices that others have made may sway his decision to perhaps make a sacrifice for the greater good.
So you don't think he's going to turn this into some kind of comparison to Martin Luther King, or Muhammad Ali, if you will?
Cannot speculate on what Kyrie Irving may or may not do. Your question was, when do I predict him to be back? A little after Martin Luther King Day.
Okay, so Patty Mills, his performance yesterday puts no pressure on him to hurry up and get back.
No.
Really? Patty Mills filling that third scoring spot for them guys?
No. Yeah, Patty Mills is not Kyrie Irving.
He's not Kyrie Irving. I didn't say he was Kyrie Irving.
But no, he's not a substitute for Kyrie Irving.
You know if they give him that Olympic ball, what Patty Mills is likely to do, right? If they make him think he's going out there for the Olympics, he's in the Olympics. You know what Patty Mills is likely to do, right?
But he's not. This is the NBA. He's not with his fellow Australian countrymen. Yeah, no.
Does Brooklyn have a reason to be concerned?
Absolutely, they do.
Why? Who do you have winning? Hold on, let me scroll down. You got them winning the finals or getting to the finals and playing your Lakers. What are they?
I had that before Kyrie Irving decided that he wasn't going to take a COVID shot and not be a participant for any of the games.
So let me make an addendum right now on October 20th. Who do you have now winning the Eastern Conference?
Let me think on it. Let me do a little bit of research and get back to you on that, Cam. By next week, I will have an alternative to the Brooklyn Nets winning or advancing to the NBA Finals.
Wow, that's crazy. So last night, go ahead and tell us what you think of what Russell Westbrook looked like in the purple and gold.
Well, Cam, when you come to a franchise with that type of success and glory and history, and you're just overwhelmed by all the statues that are out in front of the stadium and all of the banners that hang from the rafters and the players that you're playing with and the great accomplishments that they have made, contributions to the game, it's not surprising that they had somewhat of a subpar game.
Well, you don't think he never played on a basketball court before?
He's played on a basketball court, but certainly not with players the caliber that he was playing with, last night, and certainly not in the environment or the arena. And plus, Cam, we're discarding how much it meant for him to come home. So, I mean, those type of things are, they're hard to overcome.
Isn't it easier when you Is it easier for you to get up and go to work when you wake up in your own bed?
You know what? We're not in Russell Westbrook's head right now. We're just trying to speculate. You're trying to speculate on what went wrong, and I'm just saying, hey, man, a lot of times there are other influences, outside influences that
Well, I'm not even
how
saying
a player plays.
I'm not even saying anything went wrong. I'm just trying to ask what happened. I asked you, what do you think of his performance? I'm not saying anything went wrong.
And that's exactly what I said. I think he was a little bit overwhelmed by the experiment, by the experience, by the environment, by all that was expected of him, and came a little short.
How do you feel the rest of the Lakers played?
But all right. I mean, LeBron and AD are always going to do what they do. It's up to the rest of the players to kind of step in and fill their role.
How do you like Malik Monk? I mean, it sounds like you're just trying to wipe this off as it's early in the season. It meant nothing. But you were probably saying that last week and saying that when they were 0-6 in the preseason, like those games mean nothing as well.
Hey, Cam, I don't like it when you lose to the Golden State Warriors without Klay Thompson or Kevin Durant. I mean, it should be embarrassing for you. But I mean, at the same time, this chemistry thing, it's not all at once. You would like it to be that way. For example, as I look back to last year, Kawhi and Paul George, it took a little bit to kind of get their bearings, and they never quite were on the court at the same time, so they never quite clicked and got it. But hopefully these guys get enough, reps in that they can fix the situation.
So you're finally comparing Kawhi Leonard and Paul George to LeBron and AD. There's a
No.
legitimate
LeBron and AD
comparison.
have already got a championship. Let's not get it twisted, Cam. I think maybe you forgot that part. LeBron and AD have a chip. Okay. They're bringing in Russ to get another chip. Okay. And Russ isn't quite on the same page. And it may take a moment or two, maybe 3-4 weeks.
What about DeAndre Jordan? Do you like that move?
I mean, in theory, hopefully he's able to do a lot of the things that, JaVale McGee was able to do in the championship season. And, he's also got Dwight Howard to kind of lean on. So, yeah, I think between the two of them, yeah, they can do some things.
Okay. Well, I know you're not a Phoenix Sun fan, nor a Chris Paul fan, nor a Devin Booker fan. But what do you think about them not paying DeAndre Ayton?
Huge mistake.
Okay. We'll see how that works out. I'm not sure the logic there, but we'll see how things work out for them. Now that the Warriors beat your Lakers, what do you expect from the Warriors? How did they look this season, or how did they look to you yesterday? And provided that they do have a healthy Klay Thompson when he comes back by Christmas, what do you think? What do you expect from them?
Can't really speculate anything until we see what a healthy Klay Thompson looks like and how he contributes to their team. But I think that they're in the Western Conference and they will lose in the first round.
So who do you have the Lakers playing in the? You have the Lakers. Until you make your addendum that we're going to see next week for the Eastern Conference. Who do you have the Lakers playing in the Western Conference Finals?
Denver Nuggets.
That's fair. That's fair. Denver actually up 75-67 over the Phoenix Suns right now. 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. Are you ready to trade Ben Simmons? Or are you still going to hold on to him and see if they can work something out?
Ready to trade him.
Well, what's the best option for you? I'll give you a number of the options I felt would be best. What are you willing to do?
They haven't figured that out yet as far as what the best option will be. But they will find a trade partner. They won't get the value that they were hoping for, but they'll get enough to trade him. At this point, he is such a detriment to the team and their potential to win an NBA championship that he has to get moved.
So we talked earlier about Kyrie getting the shot. Did you hear what Shaq had to say about Kyrie getting the shot?
No.
Inside the NBA, Shaq says you don't get the shot. Not Shaq. I'm sorry. Charles Barkley said you don't get the shot for yourself. You get the shot for your family and people around you. Do you agree?
100%.
And you still have him not getting a shot till Martin Luther King Day or thereabouts.
Yeah, I didn't say it was a rational decision for him not to get the shot. You asked me when I thought he would, get around to getting it. I mean, if so, that's kind of the timeline that I have in my mind. I mean, obviously, no one knows what Kyrie is going to do at any given time. So,
yeah, any given moment. So, this first weekend in the NBA, are you excited to see anything outside your Lakers and how they produce? What else intrigues you about this?
No, not really.
That's it, huh?
That's pretty much it.
I mean, you guys don't have the Kawhi and Paul George to deal with, contend with this early this year. What do you think about the Clippers? Yeah, what do you think about the Clippers and their playoff options?
Well, I know that Mr. Steve Ballmer is working overtime to do as much as he can to bring a championship to Los Angeles. that is not affiliated with the Los Angeles Lakers. So, I'm most confident in what he's able, to bring to the table and what he's trying to do. And we'll just have to see how the chips fall.
So if I'm hearing this correctly, it kind of sounds like young Sam is ready to ride off the NBA season and just see Denver and the Lakers match up in conference finals.
No, I mean, there's some other teams out there that can do some things, Cam. But I mean, where is the focal point going to be at?
I mean, I'm not sure. I thought the focal point was in what the Brooklyn Nets are doing in Kyrie getting.
Well, I mean, Kyrie's not playing, so I mean, they're not really a focal point per se. I mean, they could potentially get in there and do some things.
Good.
The second best team in the East. I mean, they have a problem with their 6'10", point guard. The number 3 team, they have a really great superstar in Giannis Antetokounmpo. Not really sold on the rest of those guys. My guy Ice Trey. We'll see if you can repeat that, replicate that same performance when it really counts. And, so that's the Eastern Conference. The Western Conference is always the wild, wild West. So we'll just see how that whole thing unfolds.
So you got more confidence, it sounds like, in Ice Trey than the actual defending champions.
No, I got more confidence in Milwaukee getting, closer to the NBA Finals than Ice Trey, of course.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. I wasn't sure. Sound like I know how high you are.
No, but I think it will be a factor, and if you let him in the door, that's on you, man. That's not a dude you want to let in the door. You want to close the door before he gets in the door, because then it just gets chilly.
Okay, so a couple things that came up last night. Grayson Allen. Is Grayson Allen the white Patrick Beverly? You hate to play against him, but you love him when he's on your team?
No, because you don't really love him when he's on your team, unlike Patrick Beverly, because you see the way that he trips people and does weird, funny things, and you know that he's going to get punched in his face, and you're not really going to want to come defend him. But because he's wearing the same jersey as you, you're like, oh man, he did just punch my teammate in his face, but he kind of deserved it. Yeah, no, he's not. He doesn't get the same Patrick Beverly treatment. No,
he doesn't get the same cachet of Patrick Beverly, huh?
No.
Another thing that came out: the best shooting guard in the NBA. The best shooting guard in the NBA is
James Harden.
Some would argue that James Harden plays point guard.
Well, I mean, if Kyrie Irving's on your team, I would argue against that.
Is Kyrie? Yeah. Is Kyrie your? Kyrie's a 2 guard though. Remember, Kyrie said, "James, you can play point guard." Remember, that's what he told him. Remember? Oh, you forgot that. Didn't he say that?
There's been talks back and forth. Cam, I would say James Harden.
Okay. So who else you have on the list after James Harden? Top 2 guard in the NBA.
Bradley Beal.
Mm-hmm. That's a pretty good consensus. The argument was that Zach LaVine is the best 2 guard in the NBA. Zach LaVine, Zach LaVine is from Buford, right?
Yeah, I was aware.
But is he the best 2 guard in the NBA?
No.
Where is he on that ranking?
7 or 8.
Okay, so give me 5 better 2 guards.
Off the top of my head, Cam, I can't give you like 7 shooting guard is better than Zach LaVine, but I don't think that
Give me
he
bolster my
exists.
argument. Give me a couple. Give me
CJ
Brad.
McCollum.
CJ is CJ better than Zach?
I think so. Certainly more consistent, man.
He might not be as explosive. But I get your point. He might not be as explosive. Not Bradley. You said Bradley Bill. Buddy Hill,
No.
Sacramento. He's not better than Zach.
Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry's a point guard. Hardaway Jr.
So then you would have to go Jimmy Butler on that side then.
Jimmy Butler more of a forward, isn't he?
Depends on where you want to play him.
Okay. That was another argument that came up yesterday. But I agree. I said Bradley Bill. I also thought Devin Booker was, but you're not high on Booker, so you probably don't have Booker in your top 10.
Nah, I mean, I'm a little disappointed that Booker didn't, seize the day, seize the time when he had the opportunity, but, and he'll forever regret it because he may, retire not ever winning an NBA championship when it was right in front of his face.
So do you any confidence that those guys getting back to the Eastern or Western Conference Finals? Western Conference Finals, they can't do it.
Western Conference Finals, maybe.
And they already have experience smacking the Lakers around, so you guys should be a little worried if that was.
Yeah, that was without Anthony Davis or Russell Westbrook, so that was a long time ago.
But you said Russell's still feeling his way out of things.
Yeah, I said give it 3 to 4 weeks. I didn't say he wouldn't be able to figure it out by the end of the regular season.
Okay, all right. All right, big guy. Let's take a little break here, man. When we come back, we're going to talk about this week in history. We're going to talk about some random topics, and then we're going to get into our NFL picks for Week 6 in the NFL. We got some. We've agreed on most of these picks throughout the season, and this week, looking at it, we got a lot of. This is going to be the separation point right here. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a point of demarcation here. So let's take a little break here. When we come back, as I mentioned, we're going to talk about some random topics after we talk about this week in history. All right, you need 90?
I'm good.
Let me take 45. The Knicks and the Celtics, man, had a shootout or double overtime. Jaylen Brown, is he small forward or shooting guard?
I would say shooting guard.
Jaylen Brown?
Who would be there too?
I don't know. I'm asking. I don't know. I'm asking. I'm literally asking.
Yeah, I would say he's there too.
And Tatum's a 3?
Yeah.
I thought Tatum was actually a 2, but everybody's telling me no, he's a forward.
That's who Philly needs to get involved in that 3-way trade is Boston.
For what?
Oh, man, you send Ben Simmons to Boston. You send Bradley Beal to Washington. You send Jason Tatum to Washington.
Oh, Bradley. Wait. Repeat that. You saying Bradley Beal?
You send Ben Simmons to Boston. You send Bradley Beal to Philly. You send Jason Tatum to Washington.
Why would Boston do that?
Oh, man, because they get Ben Simmons.
And
a couple of first-round picks.
You know what?
And 2 first-round picks.
Whose picks? Washington picks or the Sixers picks?
Philadelphia's picks.
Well, that's a lot. Like, oh yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not coming off of Ben Simmons for excuse me, I'm not coming off of Tatum for Ben Simmons. I don't think I'm doing that one, bro.
Well, then you give the Wizards those picks and Ben Simmons.
To get Bradley Beal, yeah, that could work. That could work. Although, yeah, that could work actually. Yeah, that would actually work because all you got is Horder playing the three, I think, or not? Is it Horder? I don't think it's Horder. They have another European sharpshooter. It's not Horder. Horder's in Atlanta. That would and that's not a bad pick actually.
But the Celtics are enamored with Jason Tatum, and rightfully so. But he's just a better fit. He was a better fit with Russ and Beal down there. Without Russ and Beal down there, might not turn the corner for him. So,
No, I mean, I like Simmons. I like Simmons there because, like, there only so many people watching the Washington Wizards, and that kind of takes the pressure. Although they're in the same division,
Ben Simmons is a baller. He just can't shoot, man. So all you need is
they got a couple shooters. Yeah, they got a couple shooters on Washington, and then he can play defense. He can play defense and have the ball in his hands. No, if Bill's not there, nobody's going to be upset. There go Chris Paul. I don't know if you got this game on. Chris Paul making his doing his dirty stuff. But if there's no Bill there, you have nobody upset that Ben Simmons has the ball in his hands, and that would be the initial problem, right?
No, the initial problem is that Ben Simmons can't shoot. If you don't have any shooters, then you can't win.
Well, that and he's gonna need the ball in his hand. So, either way, all right, let's get back to it, Clevon.
Okay. Little mayonnaise on the cheek there, homie.
Appreciate you. Yeah, 107. Clevon, in October 17th, hearing first blank for blacks was organized. Capital Savings Bank in Washington, D.C., speaking of the Wizards. Capital Savings Bank it doesn't give me a year, but that was the first black for banks in October 17th. 1944, U.S. Navy was opened up to black women in 1944, October 19th. October 17th, 1940, Benjamin O. Davis became the first black general in the Army. And I don't know if you're a big college football fan. I don't know if you remember this, but in 1989, October 20th, the Houston Cougars ran up 1,021 yards against Southern Methodist University. The final score was 95-21. Was that Andre Ware?
It was Klingler, and it was actually SMU's first season back into college football
after the death penalty.
And they took such criticism for that, and the coach was like, dude, we were down to like our fourth string people.
Right. If you guys mad about that.
I didn't just leave my starters out there to kill it. We were down to like our fourth string guys, and they were still scoring on it. What do you want me to tell them to do?
Who was the coach back then? Who was the coach?
That was Pardee before he went to Detroit.
Houston? Detroit or Houston? with the running gun, Warren Moon.
He went to Houston. You're right.
Good call, though. So we talked earlier about the Cardinals winning, going 6-0. How long before the 72 Dolphins get to pop their bottles?
I would say no later than week 10, 11.
Week 10, 11, but they will be popping their bottles, huh?
They will be popping the bottles.
When does Seattle play the Cardinals?
Oh, man, I don't even want to look. I don't even want to know. Too soon.
Hold on, Gino look that bad?
Oh yeah. I mean, this he didn't look bad. He looked like Geno Smith. There's a reason that he's Geno Smith. You know, the anomaly was how amazing he looked when he stepped in for Russ against the Rams. It was like, wow, okay. But yeah, a week of tape, a week of preparation. Yeah. No.
But I mean, he had them in the game. It went to overtime. And it was just a final play. Like, how do you not feel Watt coming to just strip you from the ball? But I mean, that was a bad sign
Second
of a
straight
win.
game. I mean, he's had the game losing turnover. So
Oh wow! So they're done with Gino up there.
no, I mean, he is who we thought he was.
They're done. They're done.
Hopefully, he can win a game or two.
Well, when is Russ coming back? How many is it? 2 or 3 weeks?
We're hoping for the latter, but it's probably more like 3 to 5.
So Nick Rolovich, I know you're a Husky. You don't want. Well, you claim you're a Husky. You don't like the Ducks or WSU. Nick Rolovich, he decides that he's not going to get vaccinated. He's the only. I can't believe this. Only coach. I think I played it for you, right? The only coach in the Pac-12 media day who doesn't attend. The only coach in the Pac-12 who doesn't attend media day because he's unvaccinated. I questioned him about it then. Oh, it's not anything we want to address. I think the players know how I feel about this. Yada 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 yada. Whoop de whoop. It's not an issue. Well, is it an issue now, Nick? That'd be my first question. What do you think about Nick refusing to get the vaccination and then getting fired from his job?
Certainly his free choice, free will to not get vaccinated. The consequence of that is you don't get to hold your job as head coach in the state of Washington.
The highest paid coach in the state of Washington, by the way. Did you know that?
Paid. Yeah.
Like
Jimmy Lake is not as tenured as he is, and he got the bigger contract earlier. How
does this guy? Where'd he come from? How did he get to be the highest coach in the state of University of Washington?
Came from Hawaii. He had success down over there in Hawaii, and to go over the program for Mike Leach, they needed to do something as kind of a stopgap because Mike Leach was such a polarizing figure that everyone loved him, whether they loved him or hated him. He was that wacky guy that everybody wanted to see. So with his absence, with his departure, they had to do something. So that was their answer.
Wow. So he gets fired, and then he decides that he's going to file a lawsuit against the state and university. What's your thoughts on this?
Won either one of those.
Dude, if you want to coach that bad, get the freaking shot. Get the vaccination. I mean, I just thought it was a poor sign of leadership, and I asked him about that. Like, how do you expect the team to follow you if you're talking about you're not following the rules and do what
Cam, and the more I think about it, the only way that I can somewhat understand it is if you think the shot is harmful or detrimental to you. and you have some type of reasoning for that. Because if you don't and you're indifferent about it, which is kind of why I feel like, Kyrie, what are you talking about? When he goes, I'm not pro-vaccination, I'm not anti-vaccine. Well, if you're not either,
Right.
it's going to cost you $35 million and you
He
can't win an NBA championship, then why wouldn't you just get it?
yeah, he's
If you
just
think
trying
you're
to be.
shooting something into your system that's going to like do detrimental harm to you, then okay. And whatever your reasons are for that, well then okay. But if you're indifferent about it, or you don't think it's a harmful thing for you, yeah, and you're in that kind of position where there's that many people and you're around that many people all the time, you know what I'm saying? If you work from home and you don't want to get a shot, that's fine, man. When you're in environments where there's like hundreds of thousands of people, you're being irresponsible, in my opinion.
Yeah, if you felt that, I mean, go play tennis, go play golf, go be a bowler. If you want to be, I mean, even bowling, you're around more people because it's indoors. But I mean, go play an individual sport if you think if this is your stance and you don't want to. I think it's what what Joel Embiid said about Ben Simmons. Is borderline disrespectful. I think it's borderline disrespectful to your teams if you choose to sit out and take this stance and don't want to be a part of this championship squad. I think that's borderline disrespectful to you, Kyrie. I think you should I think he should reevaluate what's going on. And I kind of think the play of Patty Mills would encourage him to more quicker to get the vaccination. But we'll see. We'll see what actually happens. Um, Thoughts on the Seattle Kraken? Apparently they're 1-1. Or last I knew they were 1-1. I don't know if they played in the last couple of nights. The Kraken, one of your major concerns is getting in and out of the Coliseum down there. What's the talk about it? Tell us about the environment. Has Kraken fever taken over Seattle? Everybody crackheads up there. What's the deal?
A bunch of crackheads up here in Seattle, but no, they haven't had a home game yet. I am patiently waiting, like everyone else.
Okay, you got tickets or when's their first home game?
I think it's either tomorrow or Friday. No, I don't have tickets. Tickets I think they're already sold out for, I think, years. But
Really?
yeah, but no, I'm just more than anything curious to see if people get in and out of the game.
Okay, all right, that'll be
Even more so than the outcome of the game. Cam.
Yeah.
Once I see how they do that, okay.
You're more concerned about the traffic patterns. Well, I tell you what. Hopefully, they don't have the people at SoFi Stadium designing the traffic patterns down there in Seattle, because the traffic patterns getting in and out of SoFi on game day is absolutely horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. And what makes it even more sad at commentary, there's like 13 different. There's like 4 on each side. You can only 3 sides of the stadium, but there's only like 4. There's 4 on each side, I think, and an extra one. So there's like 12 or 13 different entryways to get into that campus of SoFi Stadium. But post game, they block half of them off. They're trying to funnel traffic all to one direction, and it's an absolute. You're done?
Yeah. Carolyn I got here early, so they're
Oh,
me out.
okay. Have a good one.
I couldn't take care of you fully. So
Oh, okay. It's okay. Thank you. Have a good one.
Until next time.
All right. See you soon. Yes. There's like 13 entries into the campus there, but post game they funnel people through just like 2 of them, and so that creates a log jam in itself. Coming into the games, they have their lane cones out, so it's a 4 lane. They have the 2 lanes going both directions and the turn lane in the middle, but they put cones up on all the lanes. So like you can't switch once you get in there, you can't switch lanes. You're stuck in this lane until you turn off of this lane. But they made me I'm there 3 hours early for every game. The game was at 1 o'clock. I get there at 10 o'clock. They make me drive past my turn to go show my badge at another entrance, only to come around and be stuck in traffic, do a U-turn, be stuck in traffic, trying to turn into this thing. Like, again, hopefully the people, the crowd, crowd control, the city, what is it called, the city design team. Hopefully they didn't call. I know like Wiki's from down here in LA. Hopefully he didn't bring any cronies from who designed the SoFi Stadium up there to kind of design that traffic flow, that traffic pattern up there, because it's absolutely horrendous at SoFi Stadium. Absolutely horrendous. I don't just get rid of the cones. We all drove on streets with lines in the streets to get to the stadium. Why do you think we can't drive on these same streets with lines inside the little campus there? It's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. Nevertheless, I'm sorry, I just went on a little soapbox there. So let us know what the Kraken do. Let us know about how things go with the traffic patterns down there at the Coliseum, or it's called the. The funny thing is that's Uptown now. That's Uptown.
Pledge Climate Change Arena.
No. But the area is called Uptown.
No, yes. It is
that's
Uptown as opposed to Lower Queen Anne. Yes.
How does it go from Lower Queen Anne to Uptown? Like,
well, I mean, the town has just progressed. Cam, it's been a minute.
That's progression. That's progression.
Just saying.
It's called the freaking Seattle Center Coliseum. Unless I guess I was gonna say, unless they get rid of the Seattle Center, it's no longer the Coliseum. But the Seattle Center has been gone for years now.
It was Key Arena, Cam, and now it's Pledge Climate Change Arena.
So they got rid of all the rides down there at the Seattle Center. Is the Seattle Center House still there, or what are they calling that now?
There's still the Opera House and all that. Yeah.
Is that climate change? No, not the Opera House. No, so where the monorail would let you off, you can walk straight into the building. That used to be at the Seattle Center. Was it the Opera House? I thought it was just the Seattle Center House.
Yeah, no, that's still there.
Huh?
No, that's still there.
Is it the climate change house
it's
now?
It's part of the climate change, but yeah.
Have they got rid of the fountain there? Is the fountain gone?
No. Come on, Cam. Never getting rid of the fountain.
I mean, when I was there for the graduation in June, the fountain was boarded off. It was not boarded off. It was fenced off. Like,
what? Yeah, I mean that's due to a pandemic sweeping in the world.
So a little water is going to spread a little.
Well,
water
I mean, you get a bunch of people running around out there at the fountains. Yeah, no, man, no.
A little water spritzing around is going to spread.
They don't do that right now.
That's a spreader right there.
Not right now.
Okay, I'm just asking, man. What you guys? I don't know what you guys got going on over there.
Not right now.
Okay, what else about downtown? So it's a climate change arena. Have you been? When's the last time you've been down there? You probably haven't been down there. I've probably been down there, the Seattle Center, that campus since you've been down there. I was down there in June for graduation at the Memorial Stadium.
No, I wasn't. I haven't been there that recently. No. Yeah, what reason would I have to go down there?
To check out your new hockey stadium. I don't know. I guess it is a long way from Renton, huh?
No, I just understand that I would have to start that process at 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon to get there by 7 o'clock, and I just haven't had time, and there hasn't been a reason at this point.
Okay. So KRS-One versus Big Daddy Kane versus. Have you seen it?
I have seen the first hour, and I was definitely impressed.
Was it I scored it. I watched it again last night. I scored it. It was I had 15-4. KRS-One. How'd you have it?
I was starting to see it kind of going in that direction because I just, it's one of these things that after you watch a few of these, and you kind of understand the body of work that is still to come, and some of the songs that still haven't been unleashed, and then the other person kind of releases some songs. It's like, you probably didn't want to just waste a song, you know what I'm saying, against this other guy. And I felt like Kane wasted a lot of songs early, at least in the first hour that I've seen so far.
Really?
But that being said, I thought that Kane was real precise and real crisp on what it was that he was, portraying, man. It is the Big Daddy Kane, you know what I'm saying? So I am in this, man.
So
But
going
again,
into it,
again, as I am saying, the body of work is so extensive of knowledge reigns supreme over nearly everyone that eventually you're just not gonna have enough to keep going.
And that's the problem right there. That is the problem right there. Kane had about 3 years. I mean, if you want to say 4 years, okay, 88 to 91, 92, maybe, where like he was at the top of his game. He was in that top 5, top 6 MCs, But KRS-One, I mean, he's been doing it. He's been doing it for so long. When he's able to throw out Black Cop, Love's Gonna Get You, he step into a world
like for example, Cam, like when he dropped My Philosophy really, really early, I was like, oh, that's a lot of confidence, man. I mean, because there's just so much that I can go with after that, because typically that would be one of your later 3 to 5 final songs. But
if you're doing it chronologically, though, if you're doing it chronologically, that comes early.
But there's no reason to do that if you're in a battle. You can do it however you want to do it. I mean, from whatever era that you're pulling the songs. But when you drop one of your top 5 songs real early, you're not concerned with it.
So it's crazy, man. Another event I wish I could be at, because it really shows. It really shows like where hip hop has come. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we're in 2021 talking about hits that were made. The Bridge Is Over was 86, 87. You know what I'm saying? The J, the I, the M, the M, the Y, that's 87, 88. Like, we're talking about Big Daddy Kane would come with Raw. That's 89. Like, ain't no half stepping. That's 89, 90. Like, it's crazy to think that where hip hop has come, and that these hits still resonate. Like, they still resonate, and that's, I mean, you just gotta love hip hop for this, for the longevity, for the duration, for the what it meant to the culture,
the authenticity of the craft, when it was
the authenticity of the craft. Yes,
conception, for sure.
Yeah. So I just submitted my review. We was able to have somebody in the house. My sister was actually in the house to check out this one. I'm a little jealous now because she keep going to these damn versus things, and they're in New York, so I can't make it. No, they're gonna have to bring it out here. But no, it was pretty dope. It was something I thoroughly enjoyed, so that was pretty cool. Are you spending much time watching this Major League Baseball? Who do you have? Who do you have win it all? Can the Dodgers win it all, or the Red Sox gonna win it all? Who you got winning it all?
It's been very interesting. I definitely like the way the Houston Astros kind of pulled away earlier this afternoon to take that 3-2 lead
over the Sox.
So I do respect the Dodgers being the Yankees of the West Coast, and just whatever it costs or whatever we need to do, we'll just do that to ensure that victory comes our way. However, I shouldn't even say pleasantly surprised. I'm just unbelievably surprised that Atlanta is there without their best player, in Ronald Acuna Jr. So the fact that they're able to get this far and be this much of a factor is a testament to, their organization as a whole. But at the same time, I do kind of expect the Dodgers to be in the World Series ultimately.
Okay. You just expect that because of Mookie, uh, because of what's my man who hit the homer yesterday?
I just think that
Bollinger?
I think that Atlanta has been overachieving for just a little bit too long, and that eventually they're going to, kind of run up against it. Wherein, in these circumstances, talent prevails.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so we keep an eye on what happened, or you can keep an eye on let the fans know. I haven't watched much. I haven't watched much baseball at all. So, to be honest with you, so looking at this week, Clevon, going into this week in the NFL, Week 6, I tell you, let's talk about the games that we differ on. I got Atlanta beating Miami. I got Matt Ryan. Doing his thing against that Dolphins defense. Matt Ryan and the tight end, Kyle Pitts doing their thing. I got Cleveland. I picked Cleveland over Denver. Maybe I should change that because Cleveland has a backup. Cleveland has a backup quarterback.
But it's too late. You already made your pick.
Ooh, that hurts. So I had picked Cleveland over Denver, and especially because although I like Teddy, I just not confident in this Denver squad. I mean, they proved that again last week by getting beat up by the Raiders. We both have Green Bay. I have Tennessee upsetting the Chiefs next week. I have Tennessee. I think that they have some confidence. The Chiefs, as we know, have a tough time on the defensive side of the ball. So if Derrick Henry gets that motor going again, there's not a lot of players on KC that's going to be want to step in and get in his way. So I think
just think back to the AFC Championship 2 years ago, Cam, and remember how that went. So,
well, that was 2 years ago. That's number one, where Patrick Mahomes wasn't thinking he's Superman and wild man, and thinking he's Brett Favre 3.0 and just making all the silly throws. You talked about reckless. You talk about being reckless. I think Patrick Mahomes has got to a point where he's been exceedingly reckless or exceedingly it's not confidence because you just don't do dumb stuff, but he's exceedingly he's not paying attention to detail, and that's costing the squad. So I got Tennessee finishing that game out. We both agree New England. We both agree Carolina, Baltimore. I got Las Vegas beating the Eagles. I think they showed something last year. They showed a little last week. They showed a little heart. They showed that they're still together. And I got them going to Philly and beating the Eagles. We agree on. You want to talk about why you have them beating the Raiders? By the way,
extra week of tape.
Extra week of tape. So extra week of tape that could hurt the same guy like Jalen Hurts. I like Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has all the tools. He has all the tools to be as good as Dak Prescott. All the tools to be as good as him. He's just not, for whatever reason. He doesn't read the defense as well. He scrambles when he doesn't have to. I can't say it's immaturity. I can't say it's a lack of experience. He because Dak was able to play right away. If you remember, he dealt with once Romo went down. Dak was able to step right in and do his thing. But he just not. I like what I see when I see Jalen Hurts. He just doesn't get it done for whatever reason. I don't know exactly what that is. I mean, he can run. He can throw on the run. He can throw. Maybe it's just a consistent arm power. Like he can't throw over deep over the field. He doesn't have a cannon to really complete that deep in route or that deep crossing route. But I think he's accurate when he throws, and I don't know, just kind of disappointed in that. And I think the Raiders, can eat on that. What's your thoughts?
No, I think they were on adrenaline and momentum last week. I don't think they can sustain it.
Okay. We agree the Rams are going to win with a 13.5 spread. Carolina or Cardinals have a 17.0 spread over the Texans. The Buccaneers have a 13.5 spread over the Bears. So let's look at this. Let's take these three games. The Rams have a 13.5 spread like the Buccaneers do, and the Cardinals have a 17-point spread. Which one of these teams that have a 13.5 or higher spread will lose? Will lose against the spread. This isn't on paper, but just spitballing here. I thought when I was looking at it that these were
Tampa
some
Bay.
astronomical spreads. You think the Bears have a chance to beat that spread?
They have the best chance to cover.
And speaking of the Bears, man, I we both were down on Justin Fields in his first 6 weeks of the season. Justin Fields. Now, I'm not saying he's the next Doug Williams, but he's made some very impressive throws in this early parts of the season. What's your thoughts on Justin Fields?
Definitely has been better than I had anticipated or expected. And again, we'll see how things look in that second quarter of the season.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, just book or not, man, he's made some beautiful passes, in front of the safety, over the linebacker, on the sideline. You throw it on a run, drop it in the receiver's pocket as they're running full speed. He's made some very impressive throws where I was like, this kid can actually play. And he looks better, as you mentioned. He looked way better in the NFL than he did in college to me. I have Indy. Hold on. I have San Francisco beating the Colts. You have Indy over the 49ers. That's a little divisional hate right there.
No, not at all. I just
Come on, I see it when I see it when I know it when I see it. And there's no reason you have Indy beating the 49ers. There's none. No, there's no reason you can give me that legitimately says Indy's going to beat the Niners. No, there's not one. Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
I'm not sold on the Niners quarterback. I am sold on the Colts running back, and I am sold on the Colts defense. Not sold on Jonathan Taylor just yet. Still waiting for the verdict to come out on that one.
Come on, man. Okay.
You ready to anoint Trey Lance as the
No, not at all. But they got the Niners. The Niners have a much better defense. Number one, the Colts defense, where I thought they were
a
good.
Guy named Darius Leonard.
Yes, I heard of him. But how many points have the Colts give up this season? They haven't been the Colts defense hasn't been all. It's not your uncle's Colts defense.
You know who Michael Pittman Jr. is?
I know exactly he is. He's sitting on my fantasy squad, and I can't wait to trade. I can't wait to trade him.
We are out of the cheesecake. I did a chocolate cake.
Gelato, I guess. Strawberry.
Vanilla chocolate tart.
Strawberry, yeah. Yeah, Michael Pittman. He's on my fantasy team. I'm trying to trade him away. I picked him up a couple weeks ago, and I can't get anything for him. I need a running back, and I can't. Nobody wants him. That's how confident that he is. And we both agree. We both agree on New Orleans over the Seahawks at home. Wow. Jameis Winston coming to town. So Jameis Winston versus Geno, you don't have no confidence in Geno.
Not really, no.
Geno at home versus the Saints. Okay. I have Tennessee, Baltimore, and Chicago. I did actually pick Chicago to cover the spread. And you got Miami, Denver, and Philly. We'll see how things work out. So, again, this is a separation week. This is a week separation here in week 7. Confidence picks, Baltimore. I have Baltimore, Green Bay, Arizona, Tampa Bay, and the Rams. You have Arizona, Tampa Bay, or Baltimore, Green Bay, excuse me, Dallas, Tampa Bay, and Arizona Cardinals. Fantasy team, Cleveland. I play you this week, so we're not even going to look at the score. We're not going to look at the current rankings. Just know, fans, I play Cleveland this week in the Voice of Fans Fantasy Challenge, and Cleveland's going to have the same distressed look on his face next week when we review the fantasy football winners. Because I think there's not a lot you can do right now against my squad. Cleveland neglected to give me a $1,000 pick, $100,000 pick for this week. I'm actually taking two teams. I have Atlanta and Tennessee. Actually, that I'm putting $50K on a piece to win this game. So, are you're not wanting to participate?
Cam, give me $50K on the Dolphins plus 2.5.
Okay, that's only $50,000 though. It's $100K. It's a
Oh,
$100K
sorry.
bet.
Oh, okay. So it's $100K out of wager every week. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, give me the Eagles in the plus 3 too as well then.
So you don't have to add the points. So you're just going Eagles and Dolphins for $50K apiece.
With the points, yeah.
No, well, it don't have to be the points.
Oh, it's just to win, just money line.
Yep, straight up to win.
Oh well, money line 100,000 on the Cardinals.
What did I say? So you just want to make it easy. You just gonna go Cardinals every week.
I'm just gonna go with where I think the 100K is going to do me the most good. If I just have to pick the winner of the game with no spread, yeah. I mean, I'm young Sam Ross now. I'm used to numbers being
So why don't we do the over under then, young Sam?
No, I'm cool. I'm confident with the Cardinals winning that game.
But you don't want to do the over under.
No, not really.
So what did you say? The Cardinals?
Yeah, the Cardinals on that 100K to beat the Texans. Feel good about that.
Man, that's all right. I put it down. I put it down. I put it down right there. All right, I'm just saving this. I'm just saving this in the wrong place. Let me save this real quick. So that's just save your picks. All right, the Supremacy, our Supremacy rankings. We both had the Cardinals. I got the Packers. You got the Buccaneers. I have the Ravens at number 3. You have the Cowboys. The Rams at number 4. You got the Packers at number 4, and I got the Buccaneers at number 5. And you have the Ravens at number 5. Why no Rams? You don't like the way the Rams are looking?
They look all right, man. They're cool.
They look all right. There's that divisional angst again.
No, if there was divisional angst, then the Cardinals wouldn't be number 1.
Well, I mean that's hard to refute right now because they are undefeated. So that's our Supremacy Rankings, fans. We'll give that to you every week for the rest of the season, just to let you know what we're thinking and how fluid things are. So that was our Supremacy Rankings for this week. Before we let you go, I want to leave you guys with a quote. This quote is, "If you don't have confidence, you'll always find a way not to win." And that is from Carl Lewis, the legendary sprinter. And let me repeat that again, Clevon. If you don't have confidence, you'll always find a way not to win. And that's in a sense that's what Brandon Staley was saying when he's going for it on 4th down. If you don't have confidence to go for it, you're going to find yourself accepting losses. So Brandon Staley is showing the confidence that he has, and we credit Brandon Staley for doing this thing. We credit Brandon Staley for doing this thing. Clevon, I want to thank you for the delay, your patience with the delay this afternoon or this evening. I apologize for that. But fans, make sure you follow Clevon. Where can they find you at, Clevon, on your social media handles?
At Clevy Wonder on Twitter and Clevon Steele on Instagram.
And thank you guys for following me. You can follow me on What's Good in Sport on Twitter. That's What's Good, the letter N, Sport, singular, on Twitter. And Voice Up Fans on Instagram. Give us some feedback on the show. Thank you for watching us on the show. Fans who listen to us on the go, you can always hear us on Spotify, Tuned In, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. As always, thank you guys for making our voice your choice. Clevon, appreciate your time, sir.
All right, bro.
Have a good one.
You too.